That's right. We've been taken over by the pets today. Some dogs, some cats, and all of that fun stuff. You know what? I thought it'd be a great thing to talk a little bit about, our pets and those things that maybe help give us a little sanity. So I've been talking to a few people. Actually, some people will be on today. We got Mr. Jeff Grady out of Charleston, Muay Thai. We'll be chatting with him really quick here. And Mr. Rodney Finn want to talk a little bit about his dog. And I have my cat here. Let me see. Where's my cat? Come here, Bethany. I say, come. I say my cat, but it's really my daughter's cat. You guys saw it the other day. Can you guys see it? Oh, look at that. Now, this is my little kitty. I say my little kitty because she hangs around with me all the time when I'm not on the air. But she's not today. Hey, to be honest, she's been around kind of like just purring. And I figured out she's in heat. So I'm like, those are some of the things you have to deal with the animals, right? But we love her to death. She's a really good kitten and everything. And I think that, she's going to be around for a minute. Another one of those pets. But anyway, want to thank our sponsor, guys, Eastern Offset Printing, for being a part of what we do here. Eastern Offset Printing. If you need some good cards and posters and things like that, definitely check them out. They're out of Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Look, if you want to be a part of the show today, you can. Right, all you have to do is a link on my Facebook page. Just click on the link. Hopefully, you have your pet with you, right? And bring that pet on, and let's talk a little bit about that pet and what it does for you. People have pets for a reason. A lot of trainers and fighters and just fans, have pets. And again, I put the picture of my pet on the show on my Facebook page the other day, and everybody started putting their pets out there, right? So if you want to be a part of talking about your pet and make them, give them international fame or whatever the case might be, come on today and let's chat about it. Hey, really quick, we got a couple events coming up. I just want to go on that before we go into our first guest. Coming up here real soon here is in July the 4th. July 2nd through the 4th is the World Classic. It is going to be a phenomenal event. You see it scrolling there on the bottom of the screen there. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida, the IKF World Classic. Got full contact knockout action. Of course, on the 3rd, we'll be there with IKF PKB. That's Point Kickboxing sparring there, so you can register for that at akpromotions.org for the semi-contact. For the full contact, you can register at ikfkickboxing.com. In October 8th through the 10th, we'll be back with our Fall Classic in Myrtle Beach. And 2022, we'll be back in Georgia for the Georgia Classic. Just got all that tied up today, so hopefully you guys have put that on your calendar. Come out there and be a part of that great event. On tomorrow, we will be in Durham, South Carolina for an IKF PKB sparring event with Miss T.K. King. Should be an excellent event over there. Registration is going on right now. Advanced registration is tonight at 9 o'clock. So akpromotions.org. Come on out tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock at the door till 11 or 9. No, 10 o'clock at the door till 11 will be pre-registration. That's in Durham, North Carolina. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then next weekend, we're going to be with Mr. Jeff Grady, who we're getting ready to bring up right now in Charleston, South Carolina. Jeff Grady always has a great show there with his Muay Thai team. Has a lot of, great fighters over there, a lot of women fighters too, right? So if you want to be a part of that action, be sure to check that out. That's next Saturday in Charleston, South Carolina with Mr. Jeff Grady. And speaking of Jeff Grady, without any further ado, we want to go ahead and bring him up. He is the owner of Charleston Muay Thai. Please welcome Jeff Grady. What's happening, brother man?
What's going on, Johnny?
Not much. We've had Jeff on the show before. Jeff's always open to talking to me. But Jeff, we got to talk about your dog a little bit today. And where is that lovely pet?
Right here.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your dog. First of all, is it he or she?
It's a she.
It's a she. What is her name?
Harlow.
Marlo?
Harlow. Harlow.
I was going to say Marlo. Jeff, that Harlow reminds me a little bit. She's a cute dog. Reminds me of this movie called Me and Marley. Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that movie, Johnny.
Never see that movie, right?
I agree.
It is the best, worst movie you ever want to see in your life. I mean, it's just. But you know what? I was mad with the producers.
I was like, tears myself.
Yeah, were you mad with them?
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you make a movie like that? But we know why they make a movie like that, right? Because they want to break our hearts. But it is such a great movie. But Jeff, I wanted to, talk a little bit about, because the other day, as I said, I put this picture of my cat up, right? Of our house cat. And I was asking people to drop their pictures in and stuff like that. And people just really, really started, dropping the pictures of how important their cats were for them, or their dogs, or whatever their animals were. So it just gave me this show idea to talk about, pets and what that means to you. So give me a little bit of history on your dog. Is that your first dog?
No. So Harlow right here is my second dog.
Okay.
The first dog was named Wheezy, and I got her when she was a puppy and raised her from a puppy normal. She was our first gym dog. Loved being in the gym and all that. Loved being around people. And she ended up passing away from basically cancer. Then when she passed, I waited about a month, and I actually applied for a company called Rescue just to give my name. And I didn't have a dog in mind or anything like that. And I went to an adoption event, and they actually approached me.
Wow.
And they were like, hey, is your name Jeff Grady?
No.
Said, yeah. And they said, oh,
somebody set you up, Jeff.
They were like, you're the fighter. And I was like, yeah, I own the boxing gym, sure. And they were like, I thought they came to the gym or something. And I asked them, they were like, no, we have a dog that has had a rough life. And if any dog we have needs to be around a group of fighters, it's this dog right here.
No!
I took her right then and there, and the rest is history.
Come on, Jeff.
Anna Toole can verify that story.
Oh my God, that's an awesome story. So I want to go back a little bit about your first dog, because if I'm not mistaken, you used to have some pictures of that dog on Facebook, right?
Yep, they're still there. And Wheezy she was an American pit bull, full blood pit bull. You know the story. Everybody's afraid of her until they meet her. One of the sweetest dogs you'll meet. And she was our original gym dog. When I first opened the gym, I told anybody that I would ask, one of the things I wanted a Muay Thai gym with a bunch of dogs running around.
Well, Jeff, let's pause on that. Why is that? Why that combination?
So first and foremost, I love dogs. That's kind of what started that. But two, when I had Wheezy in my gym, and when I saw dogs that had gyms, there's almost a level of it takes people's nervousness away. You're super nervous. It's this intimidating fight gym, but there's 3 or 4 dogs running around, jumping on each other. How scary could this situation be? And so that's one of the reasons. And two, I think dogs put off ultra good vibes. I've always talked about that, how very rarely does your dog wake up in a bad mood, and dogs don't judge people, and they kind of accept everybody for who they are until they have a reason to judge you. And I wanted my gym to be like that.
Is that
anybody? People bring their dogs all the time. I would honestly say that out of our classes, probably 50% of the time, there's a dog here.
Wow. So is that something that I want to go back a little bit to your childhood, right? Did you have a pet?
I did not.
You did not have a pet.
And
did you want
to? Did you want a pet? One of my friends had puppies when I was maybe 18. I was like, I'm an 18-year-old. I can make decisions for myself. I'm getting a dog. And ended up getting the dog and needed some help raising it because I didn't really know what I was doing. So my mom helped out. She ended up falling in love with the dog, and it almost became a family pet more than my dog. But Wheezy loved people. She was your typical pit bull. She loved being around people. And again, I think having a dog in the gym just lightens the mood almost.
What do you think a dog teaches us about humanity?
Well, so like I said, they don't judge people. You could be a very bad person, and a dog is going to look at you and probably give you the benefit of the doubt. They're probably going to walk up to you and smell you and lick you, and they don't know the bad things you've done, and they don't really care. I know some pretty big a-holes that go home to their dog, and I'm sure their dog. And so I think that just it helps people realize to one, to not judge people, to two, give people the benefit of the doubt, and almost take people for what they are until they give a reason. If Harlow's a rescue, so if you clap loud or you make a sudden movement to her, she kind of sketches off.
Ah,
But if you're smooth and you're
ah,
calm and you come up to her the way I think you should approach a dog, then she's all for it. And so it almost gives people a chance to have that attitude, to take that ego away for a second. You know, my dog almost won't let you pet her if you're being aggressive. You kind of
ah.
sit down and come to her level, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. People come in here and run right up to my dog before they even say hello to me.
Right. Wow. Wow. Well, let me ask you a question. How has the dog ever helped you through specifically? You know that maybe there was not a lot of people to turn to, or maybe only a few people to turn to. Has your dog ever kind of helped
Oh,
you
100%.
through a difficult time? Could you name that?
100%. So when I first had Wheezy, I didn't necessarily have any direction in my life, you know,
Mm,
and I was one of those kids that I'd go out a lot and I'd party and I'd do what 21, 22-year-olds do.
right.
And someone brought to my attention one day, they were basically like, could you imagine killing yourself in a car accident or something like that, and your dog would never know what happened to you? Your
Ah,
dog would be sitting there waiting for you to come home. And because you were acting like an a-hole, you're never going to come home to your dog. And a light bulb went off in my head, almost like having a kid. That
wow.
I have another reason outside of myself
Oh,
to be a good person, to be the person my dog thinks I am. That's a saying I've heard.
so
Be the
you're
person your
saying, are
dog
you
thinks you are.
telling me that your dog made you more responsible?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I
Wow.
told somebody the other day when one of my friends just got a dog or is thinking about getting a dog, and I kind of brought to their attention, I was like, hey, you know, like you have to be home essentially every like 6 to 10 hours
Right, right.
every day for the rest of your life. And they kind of hadn't thought about that. And then, you know, some dogs you can leave them for 12 hours, okay, depending on the dog. But you are taking a very serious leap in life, take, adopting or buying or however you obtain your dog. But that's a very serious commitment. You have to feed them. You have to. They have to go outside. Like, you know, when I was a kid, I never had a dog, and I think having a dog, even at the age of 18, maybe didn't make me grow up, but made me mature almost instantly.
Right. Oh, wow. Wow. I think that is interesting because, we, one of the reasons why we got the cat, because we used to have dogs and we took a long break because of, I don't know if anybody read the story that I wrote the other day. Well, I didn't write it the other day. I wrote it back in 2008, literally, for mental health issues. That's what I call it, because I was messed up. We had the dog
Oh
for
yeah.
14 years. And had to put him down, and that was just terrible. Have you ever had with your last dog? Did you actually have to put him down?
No. So it almost is even worse than that.
Oh,
Basically, what happened is they found a tumor in her stomach, and long story short, surgery was an option, so we did it. And they called me and said, "Hey, we took the tumor out. Her vital signs are fine. She's going to be okay. The anesthesia will wear off about in an hour. You can come see her, and then you can take her in another couple hours."
mm.
And then I got a phone call in an hour expecting to hear that she was awake, and they basically told me she never woke up and she's.
Ah,
And so I like you said,
ugh.
you know, and that day was rough, but being honest, one of the worst days of my life was the next morning, waking up, and I literally went to go let her out. And I
Oh,
stood downstairs and I was like, what
ugh.
am I doing? Like it just, because that's what I had done for every day for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And that is when it really hit home. And almost being in the house alone without hearing the little pitter patter of the feet or not having something else to go interact with, even another living creature to go interact with when I'm so used to that, that was definitely a setback that you're never ready for your pet to go. But I was not ready for that. That
You
took
know,
getting used to.
right, right, right. It changes you. It actually
Oh,
changes you.
surely.
I know you. Have you ever had someone close to you die? A human?
Um,
And if
yes
so,
and no, but not. Wheezy was probably one of the closest. I lost my grandma when I was 16 and she raised me. But other than that, no. And not tragically. You know, my grandma had a stroke. She had 2 heart attacks, 3 strokes,
right, right. There's a little,
period.
yeah.
But Wheezy was so tragic. One day she was here, one day she wasn't, essentially. And that was the first time I had experienced loss on that level for sure.
Right, right. Yeah, that's such a tough
Oh, it
pill,
is.
to
Nobody tells you about
swallow.
that when they get a dog. Nobody tells you about when the unfortunate day, you know, human beings are lucky enough to live 60, 70, 80, 90 years. Dogs don't. And that's something people omit when they tell you about getting a dog. And I
Right.
think every dog owner kind of has to learn that on their own. And it's an unspoken thing that, yeah, there's going to be a lot of good days with the dog, and there's going to be way more good days than bad days, but you are going to face some very hard days.
Right, right. Well, I think someone there, Christian Lloyd, she says Moose says hi to Harlow. Who is Moose? That another dog?
Moose is her bulldog.
Oh, okay,
She's got
cool.
a short, thick little bulldog that is absolutely adorable. That, like I said, we counted today knowing we were going to come on here, and I would say there's probably 7 or 8 dogs that are here on a pretty daily basis. Sometimes they're in here together. I'd say Harlow's here 2 days a week. Moose is here every other couple weeks. Amy and Jeremy bring Beans and Frank. Beans was the one, for those that don't know, Beans was the one in the picture. We all went on vacation, and we were able to take their 2 little wiener dogs with us, and that's where the photo came from.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome photo. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with you in that photo. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, Johnny. I was on vacation. There's no.
That's a whole nother story, right, Jeff?
Oh yes, sir. We don't have time for that.
It's interesting that I noticed that Dustin Bolt comes on, and Dustin is making a point that his dog saved his life.
Oh,
and have you ever heard stories of where dogs actually, I don't know if he physically saved his life or just from an emotional standpoint?
No, I've heard stories of both. I've heard stories of I'm sure everybody's heard stories of dogs smelling smoke and waking their owners up, and they get out of the house. And and I've heard stories of dogs detecting cancer in people and finding a way to alert them.
Yes.
I'm sure and people know. I believe it's called Life of a Dog. There's a documentary on YouTube that is very eye-opening. And the mental side of it, again, I'm not going to say that Wheezy saved my life, but Wheezy definitely gave me direction. For sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Harlow the same way. She keeps me honest. I can't, not that I would, but I can't go out on a weekend bender drinking alcohol because I got to take care of my dog.
Wow.
And it's things like that I'd say that dogs have saved a lot of lives that they don't even know they've saved.
So would you say that you maybe need to put a special ad like some of those hotels that Charleston Muay Thai is pet friendly?
And I don't even think I need a sign. I think everybody knows that.
Wow.
One thing I can say is that there was a guy, and I'm not going to name any names. Nobody knows who he is. He came in, and one of the first things he did was Harlow went up to him and he kind of shoved her away.
Oh.
And I saw that.
Oh.
And after class, he asked about coming back a second time. And honestly, Johnny, I told him not to. I was like, hey, man, I saw how you treated my dog. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that I don't think you're a good fit here just basically because of that. And he was kind of like, and he was kind of an a-hole, obviously. And he was kind of like, are you serious, man? And I was dead serious.
Oh, my God.
No disrespect, I wish you the best. There's a couple other gyms you could train at in the area, but I'm not going to subjugate my members or my dogs to somebody like that. If you can't even stand a dog for 10 seconds, then that tells me a lot about you as a person. And it was just easiest to say, before a problem arises, I'm not begging for members right now.
My goodness.
And it was just easier to dismiss that one.
Boy, this right here, this went somewhere that I actually, I always give my shows a little bit of thought. I actually did not think about that though, Jeff, that the fact that, hey, if you come to my club and you mistreat my dog, you mistreat me.
In fact, somebody kind of said, so Jeremy Bennett, who you are familiar with, is that's Harlow's boyfriend. Harlow has accepted Jeremy.
Okay, stop. What are you talking about? Harlow's boyfriend. What are we talking about? We got a dating.
This morning, when Harlow was here, she got dropped off here. Harlow blew right past me and jumped into Jeremy's arms. He is in love with him. And if Jeremy was here when that guy did that, that probably would have gone down a little bit different. He would have been very defensive and wanted to defend Harlow. And so, again, I just kind of nipped that in the butt because I knew it was going to happen. But we're also, just like dogs are protective of us, we're very protective of our dogs. If I think my dog doesn't like you, kind of excited.
Hey, somebody could come to your club with cash in hand and mistreat your dog.
100%.
And they out of there.
And Johnny, I am not just saying that. That is.
I believe you. Yes, I believe you.
Or has been around the gym would be like, no, Jeff would totally do that.
Oh my God. I mean, wow. You know what? That's amazing. I don't know. I was compelled to do this show about pets. I guess because I do love animals overall, but I see that you love animals as well. And you really kind of brought a whole new light to it in that last statement that you made there. I thought that was pretty awesome. But Jeff, man, phenomenal. I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you.
I have some other guests waiting there in the lobby.
You said what this show was about. Two things. One, I told myself I have to be on the show.
Right.
And then when you kind of reached out to me because of the dogs, I was like, man, we made it. We made it. We're at the gym with the dogs. Like, that's exactly what I wanted. We're there. Like, awesome to be here for. Especially
can we see your dog again? Can we see her again?
Absolutely. She's right here, hanging out on the mats where she usually does.
Oh, what a pretty dog. Well, what is her mix? What is her mix?
What's that?
What is her mix?
So I'm not 100% sure. So when I got her, I noticed that she looks like a pit bull, first off. Yeah. But then I noticed after a couple of days of having her that water wicks right off her coat. So if you pour a drop of water on her, it'll wick right off of her. And it very much lets me know that she's got some type of lab or water dog in her, that her coat definitely repels water.
Interesting.
So I'm not.
Wow, look at those eyes.
I never tested out. I just haven't gotten around to
Right.
that.
Oh, what a pretty dog. Hey, one more question. Let me ask you another question before I let you go. Can you talk to your dog? Does your dog talk to you, Jeff?
I talk to her for sure.
Does she talk back to you?
Yes and no. She is a woman dog. She loves women. So Anna Toole is her favorite person on the planet. Her and Anna can talk.
Really?
Sure. But I can get her going when she's super excited. But she is other than Jeremy Bennett, she is an all-female dog. She will walk up to every female in this gym and lick their face, nudge them with her nose, kind of blows the guys off. So the women have a better chance talking to her than the guys do.
Wow, that is amazing, Jeff. Jeff, man, great addition to the show, man. I certainly appreciate you being on today, brother.
Love being here, Johnny. Me and Harlow, we're happy to do it for you.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later, brother. All right. Thanks so much. See you later, Harlow. Bye-bye. Pretty dog. Oh, my God. That was awesome. That was just absolutely what I was looking for. I'm going to leave Jeff and the other dog, Beanie, up there while I bring up our next guest. Excuse me. Love the comments that I'm getting on the side there, too. Let me get a little drink here. My cat disappeared. I had her on the show at the beginning, but she disappeared. But ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving right along. We're going to bring up none other than he's out of Liberty, Kentucky. Bring up Mr. Rodney Finn. How are you, Rodney?
Hey, Mr. Johnny Davis. How you doing?
Rodney, sitting out in this truck or something like that. I tell you right now. Rodney, let's talk about your dog, brother.
Shoot, which one? I got 5 of them. I got Mickey Blue, which is a blue heeler. Okay. I got Zeus, which is a Great Pyrenees. He's about 140 pounds, 50 pounds. And I've got Patch, which is another blue heeler. And then I've got a rescue dog, which is a lab pit bull mixed. And then I got a labradoodle, one of those looks like a poodle, but it's huge. And that's my son's dog. And then and then I got 2 ponies that, I can call them to my back porch. And
wow.
I teach all my animals different sign language, I do like us and like karate sounds and stuff. And they behave and do act. They go everywhere with me normally. Normally they're in my truck or with me, but I had a doctor's appointment and I didn't want to leave them in the car that long. So
Jeff, excuse me, Jeff, I'm going to say, Rodney, why so many animals?
Well, I don't know. What happens is one person gets one and then I get stuck with another one, and then next thing you know, I went through a divorce, and I got to keep the dogs in the divorce, and she was supposed to take half, and I ended up with them back, and I got 64 acres, uh, beautiful farmland. My driveway's a mile long. I don't
Wow.
have any neighbors, so they run in and out free. I got you know, 5-bedroom house,
Wow.
and wraparound porch, and my place is all gated. I got barns and creeks and 4-wheeler trails, and you know they're active. They are well behaved. They love to go with me. If I accidentally leave one of my work trucks open, I looked in there and they're all sitting in the back seat ready to go. So I constantly have to check my vehicle to make sure. Uh, that I'm not locked one of them in there or something.
That's funny. That's funny.
But
So you said
they love me. They're really good. They're great protection. Uh, especially the blue healers. My Patch is a female dog. So any female that's in the house or any kid that's in the house, he's automatically going to lay by them. Is my dog, they kind of pick you know, and he goes anywhere and everywhere. He rides in my Bobcat, rides on my lawnmower, goes anywhere. And then Duke is the pit bull mix, and he is just the rescue dog, and he's just a big cuddle loving thing. They're super sweet. If somebody comes up my driveway, all I got to do is go, "You're okay," and they treat you like family. But
wow.
But if I'm not there,
what if you say they're not okay?
Then you wouldn't want to be in my yard.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They're very protective, very well trained, very disciplined, very I guess it's from my 40 years of teaching martial arts. I just think that you train things, you give things tasks. It's better things to do. It keeps them out of trouble, keeps their mind active, keeps them healthy. And, just like kids, you keep them busy, you keep them in martial arts. If they're kicking and punching, then they're not getting in trouble as much. So martial arts is, kickboxing, whatever it is, keep them busy, and you won't have to pay so many attorney fees.
So you actually think that by being a martial artist and being an instructor, that somehow that same training that you give to adults or humans, that same discipline of training is translated to the dogs, and that makes the dog that much more disciplined? Is that what I'm saying?
Well, listen, I only teach with love. So I only teach with love. I can only. So going back with Jeff, what he said, that guy not being in the gym, he wasn't going to be part of their family. So you got to get going. So he did the smart thing, and that's what I do. If my dog's not going to like you, I'm sure not going to end up liking you.
Do you think dog what is it? It's some kind of sense that a dog has, you think, or a cat?
Yeah, I've had some dogs just absolutely not like people, and sometimes it's kind of like your mama calling you. Sometimes you might need to listen. I'm not saying that, they got sixth sense on everything, but I'm thinking, look, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it may be a duck.
Yeah. I want to ask you, when you go through life and you mention your divorce and things like that, and sometimes through divorce and other, life hardships, you kind of feel unappreciated. There's something about having an animal that they seem to really appreciate you. How important is that to you?
Oh, it's super important. I don't think I would have made it. And I've got a really great fiance in Whitney, and you met her.
Yes.
And so, but before she came along, I was really at the end. I went through some hard times. I mean, hard times. And when you something like that, it's like a death. And then
it is.
The only thing that was consistent was my boys. And what I mean by my boys is, my babies, my dogs, and I'll go, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? And they just, they do whatever, and they love me. They follow me around the farm, and If I'm out in the barn, they're right there. If I'm doing chores, they're watching over me. You know,
Right.
they just want to be with me. And
So,
that's how you know a dog loves you. You know what I mean? When
right.
it's just, you know, no matter where I'm at in the house, that's where they want to be. You know, and
So,
same way with Patch with Whitney. You know, that dog just absolutely loves her, protects her. You
right.
know, and so I think that's just you know, it helps you get through life.
Well, that's what
And
I'm kind of wondering, Ron. When you said you went through that tough time and you were kind of hitting kind of rock bottom, sounds like.
yeah,
Was there ever a point where you looked in your dog? Well, first of all, that you got to that point, that point, and some of us have been. Look, I can't say that I've never been there. You get to that point, right?
yeah,
Where you need something to hold on to. Are you
yeah.
saying that possibly you looked in those dogs and said, well, if I'm not here, then who's going to take care of the dogs?
And listen, I do that.
It
And
can be
listen,
that simple, right?
I did that then, and I do it now. And like, and I think I love them twice as much now after that situation because we bonded even closer,
Wow.
and because then I was like their everything. You know, just like
Wow.
Jeff was saying. You know, you have to be there. I had to quit going on the road so much. I had to, you know, stop my construction stuff. I had to consider my farm and my animals,
Wow.
look, I got to be home most of the time. I can be
Wow.
gone a few days, and I've got some good friends that I trust them with my animals. You know what I mean? And my son, you know, because he has one,
Right.
and they will watch over them. But you know, any longer more than 3 or 4 days, I'm missing the heck out of them, you know.
Right.
And listen, I can tell when I get home they miss me and they love me and they just talk to me. You know, Mickey Blue will come in and come up and talk to me and tell me exactly what he wants. You know, if they're
How,
thirsty or if they're
how,
hungry.
how does Mickey Blue tell you exactly? Give me an example of how he tells you exactly what he wants.
Oh, he just comes up and he's not a big barky or yelpy dog, and so what he'll do is if he wants to go outside, he'll just go to the door and
Right.
he'll look at me, and then he'll just kind of paw the door, and I'll get up and I'll go, hey. Or if I ask him, I said, "You thirsty?" And he'll just go into the bathroom where the sink is and look over at it, and I'll just grab his dish and get it. He's super smart. I
Wow.
mean, they'll tell you if you pay attention and you really pay attention, just like on my cats and all my
Right.
horses, you know, they'll tell you what's up with them. You know, I
Right.
have two ponies, Kiwi and Cash, and if one of them is hurt, the other one will come to me at my back door and holler, and I know something's up with the other one. And so I know to get on my four-wheeler and I'll go for a ride. And I found them colicked one time. And, you know, I grew up in farm life my whole life, so I knew exactly what to do. So I went
Right.
and got some mineral and took care of him, kept his feet cool and, you know, and kept it from foundering and
Wow.
saved its life. And, you know, and so, animals will talk to you if you pay attention. They'll tell you what you want. Sometimes people are somewhat busy, just like not paying attention to their kids, not paying
Right.
attention to their wife, not paying
Right.
attention to their husband.
Right.
People will tell you what they want, and animals are the same way.
And you know, there seems to be different octaves in their voice. It's almost like if you are hurting, you have a certain voice. If
Right,
if you need something, you have a certain voice. You say it a
right.
certain kind of way. What is it? Are you like a pet whisperer that you're able to hear the different the different
Well,
octaves?
I'm probably not as good as Ace Ventura, but I'm pretty close. And my buddies, I come to their dogs, and they'll be like, "Finn, will you holler at my dog and get it over here?" And I'll holler, and it'll come back, and you know, he goes, "Man, my dog loves you more than it loves me." And I said, "Look, I'm just a dog person, you
Wow,
know."
wow. So would
And,
you?
and
So when you had your club, did you have your dog around at your club a lot?
yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But my blue healers don't like you throwing punches at me.
Oh, okay.
So in other words, if I'm holding the focus mitt and he thinks,
No.
yeah, he's like, when I was working the focus mitt, them dogs were like, okay, you're throwing punches at daddy, and I don't think I like it. And so, and
Wow.
I'd have to go, no, it's okay, and go, and it made them too upset. So, I did. I tried it a few times, and they could do it for a little while, but they would be like, "All right." They'd go to the door and scratch, and be like, "Time to go home."
Wow, wow, wow. So what did you think about this show idea when you saw me mention it to you?
I think
About
it's a wonderful idea, and you know what? I've been, you know, think, I've been thanking God here lately for, I was like, at first, I'm like, man, my ex left me with all these animals, and you know what? It was a blessing. It was
right,
actually turned out to be the best thing in my life, you know. And at one time I was contemplating on leaving and selling and moving off and going to a bigger city, and so I could train fighters. I'm in a small town,
right,
so you're only going to get to train so many people.
right.
And I just wanted to go to a bigger city and have more options, but I'd have to give up my pets, and I can't do that.
Wow. So that's a bit. So with the all the pets that you've had over the years, I know you've had to probably let some go, right? Uh,
Oh yeah,
tell me about
yeah.
one process that you might have gone through that was very difficult in letting a pet go, because a lot of people don't get not how hard that is. Number one, and that it is as I mentioned in my article the other day about the power of mercy.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, and listen, there's come to a point in time, just like in human life, and people suffer, and we sometimes have to make those choices, and we have to unplug something, or we have to end something for the better, and I've had to make a couple of choices in my life on people, and I've had to make it a few times on animals, and it's no different. It's just and listen, um, those animals are still a part of me. And sometimes I will see one of my animals do something, and it will remind me of my other animal that I had. And I
Mm.
think it'd be awesome. Sometimes, like Duke, that rescue dog that just showed up at my house, I just lost a boxer pit bull mix,
Oh,
and he is a lab pit bull, and his mannerisms, the way he is,
right.
uh, was so similar to that other dog and his nature. And I was like, man, I God sent him back to me, in a really cool way.
I was getting ready to insert there for a minute. Do you somehow relate that in a spiritual way or in some kind of God way? So
Yeah.
what is your connection with God and animals? Do you think that there is somehow some kind of spiritual connection there when it comes to the
Listen,
animals?
everything fights to live.
Yeah,
Everything fights to live. And listen, when you got a baby chick in your hand and you're holding it, and it's trying to stay warm, and it's trying to catch that
right,
last little breath.
right,
You know what I mean? Even though I'm a meat eater, it would definitely, I can see why people are vegetarians, and I see why people listen.
right.
It's everybody's personal choice and thing, and yeah, you know, I thank God every day for allowing me to be able to uh, eat, and I think there's a certain amount of things that you give back to appreciate certain areas where you take from this world. I think it's all in karma, and the way it's a big circle.
Yeah, circle of life, big circle of life.
Yeah,
But I think,
yeah,
and I think that's a very good point, because you have a lot of activist people who are vegetarians or whatever. They don't feel
right.
like,
I totally
or
get
they
it.
don't, yeah, they don't eat meat and all that. But I think you're correct that there's like you said, since you take when you
Right.
have to eat and survive, I say have to and survive, but at the same time you give back by loving those animals or other animals, and making them comfortable in this society. Although again, in the circle of life concept, you might have to eat something and might have to take a life as well. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it is. And so, listen. So, if you can give back, you can't just take. If I grow a garden and I give some of it to needy people and give back, you know what I mean? Then that's
Yeah.
a part of it. And if uh, I raise my own beef sometimes, and sometimes it's hard, you know, to keep them separated, and pets, and animals and stuff. You know, or I couldn't eat my own chickens, but I eat chicken. You know, I just couldn't eat my own ones.
Oh,
you know?
Wow! Now that,
I eat the eggs. I just couldn't go out there and kill my own chickens.
hey,
you know,
hey, you know what? You know what? Now, you bring up a point I didn't even think about until when I was a kid. I think I've told this story many years ago on my show. That one of the reasons why I stopped eating pork.
Why, you had a pet pig?
I had a pet pig. I had a pet pig, and they killed the pig.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did in the South. And I didn't recognize, and I didn't know I was going to talk about that today, but I didn't recognize that I was falling in love with my pig, feeding it and taking care of it and fattening the pig. No one told me that was going to be somebody's dinner because I was a kid. Right. And then they cooked it and they killed, when they killed the hog, I remember distinctly running up to my then stepdad, and I appreciate him. I ran up to him trying to fight him about killing my pig, right? And I wasn't really trying to fight, but I was being aggressive, and he just slapped me and he slapped me down to the ground. I'll never forget it. He said, "Fool, you gotta eat," And at that point, I vowed I would never eat any more pork, and I haven't eaten pork since. When I say don't eat pork, I don't know if it's mixed in something, but I don't eat a pork chop or some kind of anything like a piece of bacon, nothing like that. I haven't done it since I was like 13 years old, and it's just and a lot of it is because of my connection with
stuck with you. Yeah, stuck with you. I get it. And listen, it's hard, and a lot of farmers and stuff, they do it. But I think it keeps you humble.
Yeah.
It keeps you humble when you have to feed something and raise it, and then you have to harvest it. Then it's not. Yeah.
That has to that has to be.
I'd lot rather fight 4 guys in the ring than have to kill my pet turkey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you raise it as a pet and then kill it? I don't get that. I never understood that, Rodney. How do you say, because my mom, I remember, rest in peace, used to tell me about, she used to have a pet hog. And it was a big white hog. I remember she used to tell me about this white hog. And they used to walk into the house. I'm talking about a hog, right? They used to walk in the house and hang out and everything. And she told me, I don't know what ultimately happened to that hog, but I just don't get the concept of somebody literally saying, this is my pet, and then it's going to be dinner tomorrow. I just don't, Rodney, I'm sorry. What do you think about, Rodney? What do you think about people who mistreat pets or animals, period? What are your thoughts? Like people who have dogs.
I put that with like mistreating children. Same category. Listen, you're pretty scum of the earth to me. If you something helping, something that helpless. I don't have any.
Do you think how you treat a pet, can someone sum up one as in how you would treat an animal shows a lot about who you are as a person?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% how you are, and it's how you are. How you're going to treat your children. How you're going to treat your spouse. Listen. I know some of the toughest guys, but they're gonna baby talk their dog, and you know what I mean. The same way you do your.
I think I'm looking at one.
I baby talk my dog. I'm like, who daddy boys right there, good boys, They love it. They love it. And listen, when they hear that voice, they are so excited, and you see that they just smile. My Great Pyrenees, he'll come up and just smile at me. And you can see it in his face, and I guarantee you, them dogs give their life for me. Wow. You ain't getting in my house. I can sleep with my door open. You are not coming in my house.
I got a feeling that you will give your life for them too.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Wow. Mickey Blue got cut on some barbed wire. Cut him all the way from the bottom all the way up past his groin.
Right.
And he had to have I don't know, it's over 50 something stitches.
Wow.
That's a lot of stitches on a dog, and it ripped his skin. I mean, hide all the way to the meat.
Yeah.
And I down there and felt it, and I'm like, oh no. And so as a vet trip in the middle of the night wasn't cheap, but you know what? Worth every penny.
I was getting ready to say about financial. Having a pet is sometimes not cheap, is it?
Never cheap. Having kids ain't cheap. You know what I mean? But listen, I go through 20 pounds of dog feed a week.
Wow.
You know, yeah, so that's $100 a month.
Wow.
You know, yeah. And time I do horse feed and cat feed and stuff, I spend $200 a month in feed.
Right.
You know, and chicken feed and everything. But listen, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah. Everything's happy. Everything's, listen, I grew up hungry and poor, and listen, one thing I'm not going to have is something go hungry around me.
That's what I say too. My daughter knew if she got that cat and brought it here, said she knew that I was going to end up taking care of it. That's like with all my dogs that I've had. I always end up being the caretaker, right? Because I know I'm not going to let any harm come to it. And I'm going to make sure they're well fed, and that's just the way it is. And when they go to the vet, and I'm going to pay the bill, whatever the case might be, but you know what? This has been, oh my God, this has been an exciting show for you and Jeff. Great, great stories. And, since I put that article up, I've been talking to people about their dogs. And I've had, and look, IKEA president, Steve Fossum, believe it or not, was telling me the story about his dog. We just got into a conversation and he started telling me about the mental health that this dog has given him and the family since he's been around. I mean, it is amazing. I got Keith Mariah, who, has a service dog. He was at the last event and he has his service dogs, and he's talked to me about how valuable that dog is to his life and just to his just mental stability and everything else. You know what I mean? So we need to have a dog day. Do we have a dog day? Is there a holiday for animals?
I don't know, we need to, but listen, remember when I was going through my anxiety and stuff, and I was I thought I almost died.
And I had to call you.
I was in a bad place. I was in a really bad place.
It sounded like you were in a bad place.
And you and Steve reached out to me, and some really good friends, and I'll never forget that. But my dog, knew I needed them, and they were there for me. They got me through it. And let me tell you, I always loved them, but man, we are close now.
What did they do? What did they do? How did they treat you differently?
They just know. Listen, they know if somebody's upset in the house. They know if somebody's angry, somebody's, listen, my dogs don't like nobody being mad or two people arguing or any of that stuff. They don't want that. They're just like kids.
Right.
They all get shut up and get quiet. Listen, I want my farm to be a happy, loving place, and it's just a really, really cool place to be. And, I walk out and I go, "Hey, buddy," and my horses come running. They come running. And then I go, "Hey, kitty." And then the cats will come running. And it looks like Ace Ventura just opened the door. and I got all my animals coming to me.
It gives you joy, doesn't it, Rodney?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I can tell you light up when you're talking about these animals.
Yeah, it's good.
It's almost like you light up. It's like the way you light up when you talk about kickboxing and Muay Thai and fighting.
Yeah.
You light up. And I'm seeing the same light.
Yeah, it's certain things excite you in life. And, and listen, most martial artists and fighters are passionate people.
Yes.
And we only know how to do one thing, and that's 100%.
Yeah.
With everything.
Well, maybe a couple things.
So that's the reason why we gotta have that. Pets you can throw 100% into them and they're safe.
Right.
They're safe.
Yeah.
They're always going to be consistent.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Rodney, I
wish
you'd have brought some of those pets on today. It'd have been that. I mean, what you said.
I will. Listen, next time we'll do it again, and we'll do it at my farm, and then I holler for my ponies and all my chickens and everything, and I'll show you everything.
Oh man,
I know you see pictures on my Facebook, of all my 4 dogs in the back, and me riding in my work truck. They love to go.
Hey, Rodney, so sometimes what happens is maybe if you decide to ever start doing the PKB over there in Kentucky, maybe that'll give me a reason to be there, and we do a Johnny Davis live right there on the farm with all the chickens in his house.
Johnny Davis live from Rodney Finn's farm.
Rodney Finn really sounds like a nice farm name. You know what I mean?
It is.
What's a Captain Ben or something? I don't know. It kind of sounds so authentic. Rodney Finn's farm. I'm going to see a big sign, up there when we go there. It's going to be.
It does. It has a sign. It says Finn's farm.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it has. I have it over my gate. It says Finn's farm.
See, I felt that. Rodney Finn, thanks so much, man, for coming on the show today. Look, we'll talk about and all that next time. Listen, and by the way, you did a great job at this past East Coast Classic and being an inspector there, helping me out. You were right there, you and your lady friend. I mean, you guys were awesome. I just wanted to quickly say that I really appreciate you and looking forward to you being back to the future events. Okay, brother?
Yeah, anytime. Listen, I'll be at any one and all of them. Anytime you need me, I'm there.
You're there, baby. Thanks so much, Rodney. Talk to you later, man.
Bye, brother.
All right, okay, all right, bye-bye. All right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that was so enjoyable. And talking to Jeff Grady there, he's out of Charleston, Muay Thai, Mr. Rodney Finn. He's out of Kentucky there, talking about their relationships with their pets. I mean, really, looking at some of the comments there were awesome. People are saying about how dogs change their lives, about how much Victorio says that he loves his dog, and really any kind of animal. Deshaun Middleton is saying that perhaps I should do IKEA point dog fights. No fighting for dogs. I meant to talk about that a little bit. I don't think that's good to fight dogs unless they can play fight. That's what point kickboxing is, right? It's play fighting, right? So we don't want people fighting dogs, Deshaun. Hey, look, guys, this has been a lot of fun today and really surprisingly interesting. Some great points and everything that were made about our guest today. And again, I've been talking to people all week with a lot of great things to say. But we're going to go ahead and move on. Tomorrow we will be in Durham, North Carolina at United Thai Boxing and Boxing for ICAP, PKB, Point Muay Thai, Kickboxing, and PBSC, Point of Boxing Sparring. Listen, guys, I want you to always respect yourselves. So right now, please continue to wear those masks. And I really recommend getting vaccinated for that COVID-19, as I have fully vaccinated at this point. Hey, guys, that's it. Have a good weekend. Looks beautiful outside. Forward march. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.